Philadelphia News, team of my heart.
You saw it too, didn't you? That headline that just felt like a gut punch. 76ers suffer major blow as bold rumor crushes. Franchise-saving trade plot. You clicked on this video hoping for clarity, for direction, for some light at the end of this dark, confusing Sixers offseason. But what you're feeling right now? It's that same frustration that's been building every summer. You want a fix. You want a plan. And most of all, you want this team to finally make it out of mediocrity. The pain, it's real. You've watched seasons waste away while front offices danced around decisions. You've waited on trades that never came. You've defended Joel Embiid against every critic, every playoff collapse, every question about his future. But now, even you can't ignore it. Something's broken. You were holding on to the dream of a franchise-altering trade. You saw Kevin Durant's name floating around Sixers news and trade talks. And you imagined it, KD in a Philly jersey, finally giving you that second star you've begged for. But today, that hope crashed hard. Durant's camp, they circled San Antonio, not Philly, not you. And no matter how strong the Sixers' offer could be, this isn't a front office problem anymore. This is preference. This is leverage. And Philly's got none. Now ask yourself, where does that leave you? The Zion Williamson route is gone. The Durant fantasy is dead. The trade board is shrinking by the hour. And you're left staring at a roster that looks more like patchwork than purpose. Sure, you've got youth. Jared McCain, Tyrese Maxey, promise, yes but not answers. Joel Embiid, still your MVP, still your cornerstone. But is he still your future? The whispers are louder now. Should the Sixers trade Embiid? That's no longer a fringe take, it's a necessary conversation. But how do you trade a generational big man when the rest of the league already smells desperation? And here's the pain: if you don't act fast, you risk wasting for more years of uncertainty, bad contracts, and first-round exits. Nick Nurse has a plan, sure, but even the best coach can't make magic out of misfit parts. You know it. You've watched it play out season after season. What's worse is the timing. While the rest of the NBA is locked in on the finals, you're here in early June already thinking about the draft, the cap space, the rotations. You're not dreaming of rings, you're bracing for disappointment. And it's not your fault. It's the result of a front office scrambling to react rather than lead. You're tired of reacting. You want answers. You deserve them. And right now, every direction points to one unavoidable truth. If the Sixers don't resolve the Joel Embiid situation before the NBA draft, they will lock themselves into another cycle of confusion, wasted prime years, and unrealized potential. And what about Maxey? How long before he starts asking questions of his own? This isn't just about losing out on Kevin Durant. It's about losing time, losing leverage, losing relevance in an Eastern Conference that's wide open if only you had a real plan. The Sixers' news and trade whispers are drying up fast, and every closed door feels like another year slipping away. If you can't pull off something big now this summer, not next, you might as well admit it. The Embiid era could be winding down not with a bang, but with a slow, painful fade. So tell me, how much more patience do you really have? Do you trust this front office to turn things around? Or are you starting to believe that maybe, just maybe, you've seen this movie before? And if so, how? Does it end this time? What would you do with Joel Embiid this summer? Let me know in the comments. So now you're standing at the edge. The dream of pairing Embiid with a superstar like Durant is gone. Zion's a no-go. Even the role player market is thinning out fast. And every time you refresh your feed, the same thought hits you: there's no cavalry coming. You were promised cap space. You were promised flexibility. And yet here you are, surrounded by rookies, expiring deals, aging veterans, and the same old question: what now? You're watching contenders get aggressive. And the Sixers? You're stuck watching the walls close in. That's the pain. That feeling that this franchise is always one step too slow, 1 year too late. You remember what it felt like after Jimmy Butler walked, right? When you convinced yourself that Tobias would finally break out. When Al Horford was supposed to fit. When you told yourself Ben just needed time. Every summer since then has been a compromise. Now you're being asked to buy in again just like that. But you're smarter than that now. You've seen enough. You know a Band-Aid when you see one. You've got Lonnie Walker on a minimum. Eric Gordon at 36. Andre Drummond is back. Sure, they're all serviceable, but what's the vision here? You tell me. Are you rebuilding around Maxey? Are you riding with Embiid till the wheels fall off? Or are you just stalling? Let's talk about this Maxey situation. You love him. I know you do. You watched him grow from an energy guy off the bench to the engine of the offense. You've screamed his name in Wells Fargo Center after every tough bucket. But let me ask you, can he really be the #1 option on a contending team? Or are the Sixers just hoping he becomes something he's not because they've run out of real options? It's not fair to him, and it's not fair to you. And that's the problem with this offseason. Too many bets, too many prayers. Not enough certainty. You keep hearing people talk about the NBA draft like it's going to solve everything. Jared McCain, solid pick, confident shooter, great motor. But he's not saving your franchise next season. You know that. This isn't Wembanyama. You're not building from scratch. You still got Embiid, still paying Paul George nearly $50 million, and the clock's still ticking. And look, George is a name, but he's not what he was 3 years ago. And pairing him with a big man who's struggled with injuries late in every postseason, that's not bold, it's desperate. And this is where the tension really builds. You feel it, don't you? That thin thread between running it back and blowing it all up. That fear that if the Sixers trade Embiid, it's a total reset. But keeping him without a clear plan, that's not loyalty, it's laziness. You need real Sixers news. You need a trade that sets a direction, any direction. Because right now, you're stuck in between eras, between timelines, between stars. And that's the most dangerous place a team can be. And let's not forget Embiid's not just a player. He's the identity of this team. He's why you kept watching during the process. He's why you stuck around after Simmons. But now, for the first time, you're actually thinking about life after him. That's how far this thing has slipped. That's how big this missed Durant trade really was. It wasn't just a failed rumor, it was your last shot at real clarity. And now, it's back to square one. You want a Sixers team that competes, that builds with intention, that doesn't just sign players because they're available, but because they fit, because they make sense. And when you look at this current roster, how much sense does it really make? You've got aging guards, undersized wings, and a superstar center who doesn't know if he's coming or going. And the longer this goes on, the more obvious it becomes. The Sixers don't need patchwork. They need purpose. This is what happens when bold rumors fall apart, when trade hopes die in silence, when stars choose other cities, and you're left holding a contract and a dream that doesn't fit anymore. You feel it in your chest. That sense that this could be the last chance to do it right before everything collapses into mediocrity. And yet somehow you're still holding on, still waiting, still watching every Sixers news alert, hoping for something. Anything that changes the conversation. What's your confidence level in this front office right now? Would you trust them to trade Embiid and get it right? Let me know in the comments. You're still here, and that says everything. Because no matter how bad it gets, no matter how many trade rumors fizzle out or how many off seasons end in disappointment, you still care. You still want this to work. You still refresh that Sixers news feed every morning hoping for something big. But let's stop pretending. This isn't just about patience anymore. It's about clarity. It's about the front office making a decision. One path or the other. You deserve more than limbo. You deserve direction. Let's be honest, you've earned that. You sat through the process. You believed when the rest of the league mocked this franchise. You bought into the rebuild, into Embiid's rise, into the promise that this team would one day hoist that trophy again. But now you're being asked to trust in yet another half-hearted offseason, another bridge year with no real future attached to it. That's not a plan. That's a stall tactic. And look, it's easy to say, just trade Embiid. But you know better than anyone it's not that simple. He's the MVP. He's the face. He's the reason you've been able to dream these past few seasons. But even you can admit the math's not working anymore. The injuries, the playoff collapses, the lack of chemistry with every new co-star. It's not hate, it's reality. You're not turning on Embiid. You're just tired of being stuck. You're tired of living in the middle. Because every time a blockbuster trade flashes across your screen, Durant to San Antonio, Murray to the Pelicans, Lavini on the move, you start thinking, why not us? Why does it always feel like the Sixers are the bridesmaid in every big deal? The name that gets mentioned early and forgotten by the time it's time to sign? That's the pain that never gets talked about enough. The constant teasing, the almosts, the nearlies, the maybes. You keep hearing about cap flexibility, about the long game. But what good is cap space if the right players don't even want to come? Durant didn't. Zion isn't available. And most of the league's big names are already locked up or choosing younger rosters with a clearer ceiling. So now you're stuck with a weird mix. Aging vets like Kyle Lowry and Eric Gordon. Young guys like Jared McCain and Justin Edwards who need time. And a core that doesn't know whether it's contending or rebuilding. And here's what hurts the most. You can see the writing on the wall better than the front office seems to. You know this roster isn't ready to contend, not in a stacked Eastern Conference. Not with Boston reloading. Not with New York hunting. Not with Indiana climbing. So what are the Sixers doing? Waiting, hoping, winging it. You're smarter than that. You're sharper. You see the cracks forming before they even widen. And that's why this hurts so much, because you love this team. Because you want to believe. You want to look at Embiid and Maxey and think we've got a shot. But when you see the missed trades, the half measures, the silence on big moves, you know something's broken. It's not all doom, though. There's still a chance. A clearer, committed direction would change everything. You could build around Maxey, give the keys to the kids, and start with energy and cohesion. Or go all in while Embiid still has fuel left and swing for a true second star. Even if it costs you picks, youth, and flexibility. But you've got to pick one. Sitting in the middle will only make you worse. And you don't have the patience for worse anymore. So ask yourself, would you rather lose with a plan or float forever with no real purpose? Because floating is what this team's been doing for 5 years. Big names in, big names out, and nothing to show for it but second round exits and heartbreak. You know the definition of insanity. You've lived it as a Sixers fan, and you can feel it now, can't you? That boiling point. That moment where something has to give. Either you trade Embiid and rebuild right, or you go get that star to make one last run before the window slams shut. But you can't just stand still. Not anymore. You need real Sixers news. You need a trade that resets the direction of this franchise. So now I'm talking directly to you, the one who bleeds red, white, and blue. If you want the truth, if you want the updates that actually say what you're thinking, if you want the Sixers news that cuts through the noise and delivers the raw reality, you need to be here. Subscribe now. Hit that bell, because this team, it's at a crossroads. And I'll be here with you for every move, every trade, every rumor, every win, and every heartbreak. Now tell me, do you think the Sixers should trade Joel Embiid this offseason? Or run it back one more time? Drop your take in the comments. I want to hear from you.